Welcome to The Explainer, where we take complex research and break it down into insights you can actually use. Today, we're diving headfirst into a massive new SAIMSARA scoping review to uncover the hidden, honestly kind of shocking impacts of the fear of missing out, or FOMO. We tend to think of FOMO as just that pesky feeling keeping us scrolling social media late at night, right? But as we're going to see today, the true impact of FOMO goes way deeper. It's like this hidden iceberg that's secretly affecting your wallet, your relationships, and literally even your brain structure.
To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this, just look at this number. Over 313,000 participants. This SAIMSARA review didn't just pull a couple of people. It synthesized an incredible evidence map from 722 original studies from all over the world. We're talking adolescents, university students, working adults, everyday consumers, crypto investors, and healthcare workers. This is absolutely one of the most comprehensive looks we have at how FOMO operates across our entire society.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the real FOMO definition. Then, fact 1, the crypto trap. Fact 2, phubbing and cyber gossip. Fact 3, digital hoarding. And finally, reclaiming your focus. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the real FOMO definition, moving beyond the party.
Now, notice the stark contrast between our public perception and the scientific reality here. Our perceived version of FOMO is mostly just this harmless social quirk. We just want to know what our friends are up to, or we're a little bummed we missed a party. But the scientific definition reveals FOMO as a recurrent transcontextual psychological mechanism. I know, that is a very heavy academic term, but basically it just means this behavior doesn't stay in its lane. It crosses contexts, from your phone straight in your workplace and your bank account. It acts as this bridge linking our deep, unmet needs for social belonging to actual downstream impairments in our daily lives. So it's not just a standalone personality trait, it is the engine driving some pretty problematic behaviors.
Which brings us to Section 2 and our first intriguing fact, the crypto trap, exploring FOMO and finance. It is wild to see how rapidly FOMO moves from a digital feeling to real-world financial consequences. The data clearly shows it actively drives impulsive stock buying, especially among Generation Z. It's literally the psychological trigger linking herd behavior, seeing everyone else buy in, directly to your personal investment choices. Remember the panic buying during the pandemic? FOMO was a major driver there, which completely explains that overwhelming collective urge to hoard toilet paper. And hey, if you've ever watched live streaming commerce, you know those time-limited promotions and countdown clocks? They are specifically engineered to amplify your FOMO, pushing you to make immediate, impulsive purchases rather than rational financial decisions. FOMO isn't just wasting your time, it's actively draining your wallet. In fact, the review highlighted this exact quote: FOMO significantly predicted harm from cryptocurrency speculation, particularly financial harm. Be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever bought a limited edition drop, downloaded an app, or even bought a random crypto coin just because the timer was running out or everyone on your feed was hyping it up? The research shows this isn't just a random coincidence, it's a predictable mechanism. Social media immersion directly intensifies your FOMO, which then leads right into impulsive and often harmful speculative trading.
Moving on to Section 3, our second big fact, phubbing and cyber gossip, the relationship destroyer. Okay, so you absolutely need to know this term, phubbing. It's a mashup of phone and snubbing. Basically, it's the act of ignoring the person sitting right in front of you, your partner, your best friend, your kid, because you're paying attention to your smartphone instead. Look, we've all been victims of it, and if we're being totally honest, we've definitely all been the perpetrators too.
While the global data tells a pretty staggering story about our relationships here, a massive cross-national study of over 1,500 students found that FOMO is the single strongest predictor of phubbing behavior across the globe, totally regardless of country or gender. High FOMO also predicts a major rise in cyber gossip and media multitasking. And the real-world impact? That's where it really hurts. It disrupts our face-to-face interactions, decreases social cooperation, actually lowers our overall life satisfaction, and has a direct, measurable negative effect on romantic relationships. By desperately trying not to miss out on the digital world, we're actively damaging the real human connections sitting right in front of us.
Let's hit Section 4, fact number 3, digital hoarding, cluttering the mind. Check out this hoarding loop, it is fascinating. It kicks off with step 1, upward social comparison. You see what others are doing online and you feel like you just don't measure up. That directly triggers step 2,
a huge spike in your fear of missing out. So because you're terrified of losing information or falling behind, you move to step 3, accumulating massive amounts of digital clutter. We're talking saving endless screenshots, downloading PDFs you are never going to read, and keeping 200 browser tabs open that you swear you'll get to later. And then finally, step 4, you experience this paralyzing inability to delete any of it because, well, what if you need it someday, right? So your digital environment becomes just as cluttered and overwhelmed as your mind. Astonishingly, this cognitive strain is actually mirrored biologically. Your brain literally changes. The research points out that high FOMO isn't just some fleeting thought. It is associated with altered brain activation. Specifically, studies linked it to lower cortical thickness in the precuneus, which is a really vital hub in your brain's default mode network. That's the area responsible for your sense of self and how you process social information. Plus, high FOMO is linked to decreased inhibitory control. That means your brain physically has a harder time stopping you from impulsively checking that next notification. Crazy, right? Finally, Section 5, Reclaiming Your Focus, the lifeline.
Thankfully, it's not all doom and gloom. Early experimental evidence mapped out in this review gives us some highly optimistic, actionable interventions. Step 1 is cognitive restructuring, so maybe working with a counselor to actively challenge and change those anxious thoughts driving your need to constantly connect. Step 2 relies on mindfulness therapy and practices like Vipassana meditation, which have actually been shown to significantly lower FOMO scores by grounding you back in the present moment. And step 3 is super practical, implementing intentional social media reduction. Now notice it doesn't necessarily say going cold turkey because the data notes that can sometimes backfire, but rather setting strict, intentional boundaries to successfully disrupt that exhausting loop of upward social comparison.
We've really only scratched the surface of these 722 original studies today to find these 3 intriguing facts. The full SAIMSARA review offers an incredible roadmap for understanding our own psychological mechanisms, covering everything from sleep disruption to workplace burnout. So it leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to ask ourselves. Is your digital life truly being driven by your own conscious choices, or is it secretly being hijacked by your fear of missing out? If you want to dive deeper into this fascinating data and find out how to protect your focus, I highly recommend reading the full scoping review paper. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.